When I count all my blessings, I can't even be said anymore. Can't even be said anymore. When I count all my blessings, my heart still hurts for the world that I know. Ah, the world that I know. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sense of direction, praying for love and protection. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sense of direction, praying for love and protection. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, 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 have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have Have mercy, have mercy, if I call on a blessing. Will you remember? Have mercy, if I call on a blessing. Have mercy, will you remember? No. We tried. We tried. We tried. We tried. Said we tried. And we tried. And we tried. And we tried.
My name is LaCora Stephens, and this is The Yes Show, young, entertaining, and safe.
The Yes Show, young, entertaining, and safe. The Yes Show, young, entertaining, and safe.
We all know that the fans of the Clark sisters will come for you. They came for Wendy.
The Yes Show offers original programming like Relationship Deep Dive.
Get my hair done to make you regret me. You gonna regret me anyway, because I am that chick.
Dating and waiting.
Now it's about fun.
Chastity, love isn't fun. It is serious.
Church glam.
We take some of the hottest look from your favorite Christian celebrities, such as Megan Good, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and Erica Campbell, and we take their styles and we get them for less.
The red carpet.
I joke all the time, but it's not a joke. I steal from Marla Gibbs. Everything I do as a funny person on television, I stole it. I just Marla.
What kind of kisses do we see?
All kinds.
Let's see.
You some kind of freak? She is gorgeous. She is.
Oh, thank you so much, Donnie.
We have a new.
Oh, Lord.
If you believe in a Heavenly Father, if you believe in a spiritual plane that's elevated above yourself, then you got two choices to make. You could go one route or you could go the other.
Message. Let's talk about it.
we were just playing in the backyard, and unfortunately he kissed me inappropriately at 6.
I had a stepdad behind the bottle, didn't know how to control that, and so I've witnessed and had my share of physical and verbal abuse.
Who received the greatest type of judgment but Christ? And how did he handle it but love? On the cross dying said, Father, forgive them,
for they know not what they do.
For they know not what
Thank
they
God
do.
I wasn't on the cross, but God knew. God knew, because if I was on the cross, I'd be like, I want you to get Keisha and them, I want you to get Delmar and them.
Virtual interviews.
Michelle Obama probably got haters out there.
Of course she does. Clearly.
Jesus could post on Instagram himself walking on water and he can't swim.
So he just showing out.
It's the Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and sane.
Well, hello, beautiful people. It's been a long time. I almost bust into my song. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step 2. Make sure you guys can hear me. If you cannot hear me, please let me know in the comments. I have not done this in so long. Heart or thumbs up. I need to know. Okay? Because I'm trying to figure out how was I able to see comments before. Y'all, charge it to my mind, not my heart. I miss y'all. I appreciate y'all, but y'all know I had to take a step back from the Yes Show, doing my virtual interviews, red carpets, because I was film making. And because it was such a success, we're still working on some things for that distribution, okay? So there's still another phase to it. But I said to myself, you know what? As I slowly and surely get back to the Yes Show, and yes, we are rebranding, okay? I said, maybe I should make this about filmmaking, okay? So this one is going to be interesting because the guest that we have today, not only is she an actress, but she is a licensed therapist, and she is an author and filmmaker out of New Orleans, baby. So if you know anything about NOLO, you know that they are very different. They have this culture that I've never really seen before. I went to the Essence Fest years ago. We saw Kanye West. I touched him on his shoulder. And we also, but you know what? Maybe I should have, when I touched him, I should have prayed for him, because I didn't know all this stuff was going to be happening in his future. But nevertheless, I digress. We also saw Destiny's Child, but the food in New Orleans, the people, the culture, the humidity was a bit much, but everything was so nice. And so this particular author, our guest today, Dr. Tameka Bob, she is from New Orleans, and she decided to take a look in her own backyard and create and write a film about the things that she has seen in her own backyard. And I think that that's beautiful. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it's honest and it's transparent. So we're going to be talking about that today. Writing screenplays, what does that look like? Getting investors before you actually start the pre-production, which it actually is part of pre-production. So if you're just joining us, hello. Thank you so much for joining. All right. Again, my name is LaCora Stephens. I am the host of the Yes Show, a platform where we highlight people living in their yes. Okay. So our guest today, and in case y'all didn't see the flyer, let me just go ahead and show y'all. Isn't that cute? I'm going to put myself out of it. Y'all see that? Isn't that cute? I like that, right? So this particular young lady will be speaking to us about her journey as a filmmaker, as an author, and as a screenwriter. How did she go from writing books to a full-blown screenplay? That's no easy task, okay? So without further ado, everyone put your hands together for the one and only, the incomparable Dr. Tameka Bob. Woo! Hello, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy. At first I was like, oh, I feel a little nervous. I haven't done this in a long time,
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, right? So, and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? It'll be good because We know each other. We love each other. We have a friendship. And you know what? We're working together.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But LaCora, before we move forward, I just want to say I don't think we're live on Facebook right now. Can we?
Oh, really?
Double check that? Because
I will, because I see that we have some views here. So I'm going to go on to our YouTube. Look, this is where it gets real, everyone.
Right.
So we're going to check our Facebook, because I went on Facebook and I did see it on mine.
Okay, we're definitely live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, and on my Facebook right here, yes, it shows that I'm live.
Okay, well, it's not showing for me, but that's okay. As long
Well,
as
go to my page, Tameka. Go to my page. Hit refresh, and it should be at the top. Unless I made it non-private. Oh, it says locked.
That's yeah.
Live video. How do I unlock that? Hold on. Only me. It says only me, so I'm gonna make it public. That's horrible. That's horrible.
It's okay.
I just can't stand when it does stuff like that. Okay, so now hit refresh.
Okay, let's see. There you are. Okay. There we are.
You see it now?
I do, and now I'm about to share it. Okay, share. Okay.
Lord, I feel like we may have to roll this intro again.
We may have to.
That's horrible. Unbelievable.
Yeah, because now we have to wait for everyone to get into the room. So it's up to you if you'd like to roll, because it was a beautiful intro.
Oh, well, thank you, Dr. Bob. I really appreciate that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, everyone. All right, just pretend that none of this happened. What I'm going to do, because that song was really good, right? Did y'all hear that song? I actually got that from a friend of mine, a longtime friend, Robert C. Mitchell. And when I listen to the lyrics, it kind of reminds me about what's happening in New Orleans, you know? So, like, Lord, just have mercy. Have mercy on us, on our people, on our Black men. So let's go ahead and roll that back, okay? Don't go anywhere, everyone. Thank you.
When I count all my blessings, I can't even be said anymore. Can't even be said anymore. When I count all my blessings, my heart still hurts for the world that I know. Ah, the world that I know. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me, what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sins and direction, praying for love and protection. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me, what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sins and direction, praying for love and protection. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy.
My name is LaCora Stephens, and this is The Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and safe.
The Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and safe. The Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and safe.
We all know that the fans of the Clark sisters will come for you. They came for Wendy.
The Yes Show offers original programming like Relationship Deep Dive.
Get my hair done to make you regret me. You gonna regret me anyway, because I am that chick.
Dating and waiting.
Now it's about fun.
Fun. Chastity, love isn't fun. It is serious.
Church glam.
We take some of the hottest looks from your favorite Christian celebrities, such as Megan Good, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and Erica Campbell, and we take their styles and we get them for less.
The red carpet.
I joke all the time, but it's not a joke. I steal from Marla Gibbs. Everything I do as a funny person on television, I stole it. I just Marla.
What kind of kisses do we see?
All kinds.
Let's see.
You some kind of freak? She is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much, Donnie.
We have a new
Oh, Lord.
If you believe in the Heavenly Father, if you believe in a spiritual plane that's elevated above yourself, then you got two choices to make. You could go one route or you could go the other.
Message. Let's talk about it.
We were just playing in the backyard, and unfortunately he kissed me inappropriately at 6.
I had a stepdad behind the bottle, didn't know how to control that. And so I've witnessed and had my share of physical and verbal abuse.
Who received the greatest type of judgment but Christ? And how did he handle it but love? On the cross dying said, Father, forgive them,
for they know not what they do.
For they know not what they do.
Thank God I wasn't on the cross, but God knew. God knew, because if I was on the cross, I'd be like, I want you to get Keisha and them. I want you to get Delmar and them.
Virtual interviews.
Michelle Obama probably got haters out there.
You know, of course she does. Clearly.
Jesus could post on Instagram himself walking on water. And he can't swim.
So he just showing out.
It's the Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and safe. Yes Show. Young, entertaining, and safe.
All right. And we are back, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Yes Show, a platform where we are highlighting individuals living in their yes. And I'm so excited because I don't know if y'all know this or not, okay? But the last 2 years, I spent time writing and directing my very first film. 7 Sharp is the name of it. It's a very sinister drama unraveling family secrets. Y'all know the family secrets I'm talking about, the one that your grandma likes to sweep under the rugs and shush you up when you talk about it. And then the cousin in the back at the funeral try to talk about it, but then he looked at sideways because we ain't supposed to talk about family business. That's the film I wrote. And it actually did well. It traveled to Cannes for the Diversity in Cannes Short Film Festival. It also won Best Short Film at the inaugural La Meurthe Park Film Festival. It was also selected for an Academy Qualifying Film Festival. And it also, oh my gosh, one of the best screenings that I had was here in Los Angeles, a local film festival called Michaud. Y'all know Oscar Michaud? Y'all know about him? Yes? What about you in the back? Yes, you're right. Almost like Tyler Perry. He was the Tyler Perry of his time. And that was a remarkable experience. The people that asked the questions after the filming, they only had questions for my film. And one of the actresses, the young lady, Andrea Bennett, who plays Charlene, she was like, LaCora, are these your friends? Why are they only asking about our film? I said, child, I don't know these people. She was like, girl, and they asking about us. So it was such a remarkable experience. So the Yes Show has been put on the back burner, but I am slowly and surely coming back. I did a pre-Oscar red carpet the other day, and today is the very first virtual interview of 2023. I know, child, I'm a little late. It's March. I know. But since we are celebrating wonderful women, I said, you know what? We have to talk about an upcoming project that I have, that I am actually producing out of New Orleans. It will be my second feature film. The name of the film is called Torn Direction. Now, this is going to be good because I produced another feature film, Brown Paper Bag. Y'all remember that? And it did extremely well. It won film of the, well, I wouldn't say film of the year, but it won the best film of the festival for the San Diego Black Film Festival, which is also Academy qualifying, I believe, I think, maybe, allegedly. But it also received distribution from IMDb TV. So the hopes is to make sure the film that I'm currently producing with the young lady that you all will be meeting today, the screenwriter, the filmmaker, Dr. Tameka Bob, that we not only win festivals like I did with Brown Paper Bag, that we not only get distribution from a major network or streaming service, but that we go on and that we not only go to Cannes and win festivals, you know, but we do amazing things and maybe have a theatrical release. I think it could happen. So without further ado, everyone, I'm going to introduce you to a young lady who not only is talented, not only is smart, because she is a licensed therapist, okay? I may need to talk to her about some things going on in my life. You know, since the therapy list is actually on the waiting list right now. Can y'all believe that? But I digress. But the young lady I'm going to introduce you to, not only is she talented, not only is she beautiful, not only is she smart, but she is creative. She is a Black creative. And I think that we need to always support Black media, like Roland Martin, like Will Packer. We also need to support Black filmmakers and creatives that are doing their thing. And that's what she's doing. Okay. And now I'm not, you know, because not everybody, some people be doing some foolishness. Y'all seen some of it. Rolling on poles, long weaves and nails and mustaches. And I ain't saying nothing that it's so, I ain't even going to speak on that. You see what I'm saying? But what I am saying is that what she's bringing is something that needs to be discussed. The seen and unseen experiences of Black men. Okay. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one, the only Dr. Tameka Bob. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for those accolades. I am just humbled.
Listen, I got to tell the people what it is, okay?
Yes, yes.
So how are you doing today? Of course, this is the first one of 2023. I'm excited. We're going to do some film talk today because there are some Black creatives or non-Black creatives watching saying, okay, feature film, like, first of all, feature film, you mean a full-length film? Yes, a full-length feature film, not a short film like what I did. I took the short, not really a shortcut because that still kicked my butt. So listen, a feature film is no easy feat. Mm-hmm. So could you let us know, first of all, who you are, young lady?
Oh, wow. Well, I think you started off great by saying all of those wonderful things about me. And so, yes, I am Tameka Bob. I am a New Orleans native. I am here in the city of New Orleans right now as we participate in this wonderful conversation. And I met LaCora in Los Angeles, California, where I resided for 10 years. Pursuing my craft of acting and writing. And what else about me? I always say it's so hard to talk about yourself, but I am, yes, a writer and an actor. I have experience in theater, in film, and television. I am also a counselor. I work primarily with teenagers and young adults. And let's see, what else? You spoke of a short film. Yes, that is not easy. So do not underestimate what you did. And congratulations on just everything and the success of your film. That was totally amazing. You know, for those of you who don't know, a short film is just shorter than a feature, right?
45 minutes or less. It's 45 minutes or less. Yeah. So a short film, if you don't know and you're interested in filmmaking, a short film is 45 minutes or less. But if you're going to do 45, you may as well just go ahead and add in another 20 minutes so that you could get more money for your distribution. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, congratulations on that, because that's a lot of work. And because of all of LaCora's many, many talents, because she is multi-talented, y'all, I have asked her to join my team, and we'll talk a little more about that later. But other than a just writer, actor, therapist, empath, giver, daughter, auntie, all of those things, that's me.
Yes. And one thing about that, because as a woman, and I know we are celebrating women for the month of March, right? And like you said, you've been so many things as a woman, but interestingly enough, your film is primarily focused on men.
Yeah.
And I really want to know, you know, as you take a look, you could have wrote about anything. You could have wrote about the culture of New Orleans, you know, the beautiful food y'all have, the wonderful men that like to say, baby, I like y'all accent. You know what I mean? You could have. How do y'all say it, Tameka? What y'all say?
No, you say it again. You say it again for us.
Baby. Something like that.
I don't know. You're close. I mean, you're close. I don't know. I don't know if I just say it. I don't know if it's gonna come. I mean, baby, is that? I don't know.
I don't know. It's something real nice with the twang y'all got. I just love the accent. But you could have wrote about the you know, just this could have been a full-blown love story. This could have been a full-blown cultural experience. But you decided to focus on Black men in their seen and unseen experiences that they deal with. And so could you just give us a little bit about the film, and then perhaps I could share the trailer? Well, not the trailer, but you know,
the proof of concept, proof of concept video.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And so basically, this film is called Torn Direction, and it is a dramedy. And so this full-length feature film, it basically follows our protagonist, who is a conflicted construction worker. So we look at his journey after Hurricane Katrina. He's torn between good and evil, and he battles those good and evil voices, but they come from, or maybe not, come from comic book characters from his childhood. All of this is happening while he's still fighting to overcome a darkened past.
Now that's interesting, because some people may have heard the word comic book characters and they're like, okay, but what does that look like? What do you mean exactly? So is he hearing voices? Is it from the comic books? Will it look like animation in a film? Like, could you elaborate on that?
Sure. Great questions. And so, yes, they start off coming from the comic book characters, and there's some exploration around that. Like, where are these characters coming from? Could they be from the comic books, you know, when we were little kids? Because our protagonist, he always hoped that the comic book character was real. So his wish may just come true. So with that, there is some animation that you'll see in the film. Now, even though we talk about animation, it's still very, very realistic, you know, very grounded, very set in the hood of New Orleans.
Yeah. Okay, the hood.
The hood.
But do New Orleans really have hoods? Because, you know, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, where y'all at? Hey, y'all people. Hey, beautiful people. Now, when I came out here to LA and people were talking about these hoods, I got to these hoods and they had manicured lawns, palm trees, lemons hanging off their tree in the front yard. I'm like, this is the hood? Right. Sign me up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do y'all have hoods in New Orleans?
We have hoods, yes. I'm with you. When I got to LA, I was like, oh, this is the hood? Oh, I didn't realize that, you know. Now, I will say our hoods look a bit different after Hurricane Katrina. So post Hurricane Katrina, our hoods do look different. We had our projects, as people like to call them, and they tore most of those down. You know, so now we have gentrification, right? But at the same time, the hood is still the hood. And you will notice that if you ride through the city. And when you visit, when you come down to help us make this film, Yes, I don't want to scare you, but I'm gonna take you through a few little hoods. We'll just dip in and dip out.
Don't try to get me hurt now. I'm a cute little butterfly. I don't want to get on down there and get wrapped up in the situation.
I got you. You'll be just fine. Because like I said, we'll dip in and dip out. I'll show you a little of the culture and then we'll dip out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, on a serious note, and if you're just joining us, thank you so much. Come on in. My name is LaCora Stephens, and you are tuned into the Yes Show, a platform where we are highlighting individuals living in their yes. Today, my guest is Dr. Tameka Bob. She is a therapist. She is an actress, creative, and a new filmmaker. She just wrote a feature film script called Torrent Direction. Mm-hmm. And this particular film is set in the background of your life, New Orleans, Mm-hmm. And as I told all of the viewers before, you didn't opt to make this a rom-com, a love story like the next Love Jones. You didn't make this about the culture, the food, the sticky humidity, or the Black woman during the Essence Festival, like a girl's trip. You decided to focus on Black men. And when I say that, if you take me to New Orleans, now I got to be careful, because y'all know, for the people that have been watching me, I moved from Florida and I go home to Florida during the holidays. Mm-hmm. Just like me, there are so many people from Washington, from New York, from North Carolina, from, Atlanta. They come to LA and we always go back home for the holidays.
Right.
Well, one of the cast members that Tameka Bob put in the film, his name was Boogie B, affectionately known as Boogie B. He went back home just like I do every year. Mm-hmm. Went back home on the first day he was there. He was struck with gun violence. Yeah. And unfortunately, he won't be making it back to play the role that he was cast for in the film Torn Direction. And so it is very real in the hoods, you know what I mean, of New Orleans. So could you speak about that and how your film Torn Direction is actually in honor of this young man?
Sure. And thank you so much for bringing up Boogie, as I like to call him, and most call him Boogie B. But Brandon Montrell, this film will honor Brandon because, as you said, he had just arrived to New Orleans. Actually within a few hours. And the area where this gunfire took place actually was not the hood. Ironically, it was a well-to-do area where there are many high rises and, higher income condominiums and things like that. And he was outside of a grocery store. I'm told that he went to pick up something last minute for his grandma to cook, And at that time, there was a gun battle between two young men. And Boogie didn't even make it out of the car. And so basically he was, as they say, the wrong place at the wrong time. And, just one bullet and, it was fatal. And so with that, Boogie loved this city. Oh my gosh, he loved this city. He was a resident of Los Angeles, where he and I met. He was on stage. I can still see it. And all he talked about, all of his bits were about New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, this dude has got to be from New Orleans. And I am just falling out laughing. And so afterwards I said, I've got to meet him, And so I wait around and I wait to talk to him, and we're just chatting it up, like we've known each other forever because we're both from the same town. And we exchanged numbers at that point, and we kept in contact. And our relationship started when I interviewed him during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Everybody was just kind of inside, locked in the house. And I started doing Dr. Bob's Real Reality, which was my online show. And I interviewed Boogie, and of course, he just has you laughing so hard all the time.
Did. I remember it. I watched that interview, and you was like, he's so funny. You share his Instagram, and I used to watch his Instagram. He's hilarious, or he was hilarious. Yeah.
Yes. And so from then on, I just said, Boogie, we've got to keep working together. And he was such an encourager. We would talk on the phone. He was like, sis, you got it done yet? Sis, have you scheduled? And we all need that. And I say, well, Boogie, you know, we don't really have a budget for this. So I'm just going to pay you what I can. He was like, pay me? You don't have to worry about paying me. You know, you pay me when you get the big deal, you know? And so just a good person. Yes, a funny person, but more than anything, a good person. And so LaCora will share our proof of concept video a little later, but you will see him in the character of Jonah, which was the character who brings the funny. He has a serious storyline, but he also brings the funny, and he just had us cracking up on set. And so with this film, we definitely want to kind of edit in some of those scenes, some of that footage that we use from the proof of concept video. And also with our fundraising, we also plan to donate a percentage of what we raise to the Covenant House. The Covenant House is a house that really, really gives back to the youth and young adults of the city. And per his mom's request, we are going to also support the Covenant House in our funding.
I think that is so beautiful. And to know, you know, that not only did he bring laughter and joy, but like it's hard out here to keep going. It's so hard. So you need people to keep pushing you. The person that for me, my younger sister, she'll randomly send little messages like, oh, I believe in you. And I'm like, sister, you know, so, but you know, she's so far away. When you have someone here pushing you and you could see them doing their thing, it's just a great experience. So if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. I need y'all to share, okay? I think the highest I've seen people watching has been 10 people so far. And I know some people are working. We understand that. So y'all will catch the replay. Hey, my replayers, how y'all doing, boo? Hey, boy. So please share. Make sure you share. Tag at least 2 people and share. So if you're just tuning in, I'm LaCora Stephens. This is Dr. Tameka Bob. We're talking about her newest project coming out, and it is called Torn Direction, a feature film. Not to be confused with her newest project as an actress. Yes, she was recently booked on a very big production. I'm not going to give away all the details. That ain't my story to tell, but sis is doing good as an actress, okay? So make sure y'all give her the love on that, because it's hard out here to be an actress, especially a Black woman, especially a dark-skinned Black woman as an actress. It's hard, okay? Let's just talk about that. So, honey.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, of course. So what we're going to do is explain pre-production. So Dr. Bob, she wrote the film, feature film, right? We talked about a feature film. It's not a short film, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes or less. It's a full feature film. So she's currently in the phase of pre-production, right? After pre-production, we have production, where you actually shoot. You go to the locations, you shoot. And then the next step will be post-production, where you get the music, the audio mixing, the coloring of the film, all of those things, marketing. Child, that's actually post-production. There's so many phases. So what we're doing right now, she mentioned something called a proof of concept. It's a proof of concept trailer. So y'all know what a trailer is. You go out, you know, the Avengers or Tyler Perry, Will Packer, they have a film and there's a trailer. But a proof of concept is, before I shoot my film, I'm going to give you an idea of what it is. I may not have the full budget to execute it, but y'all, okay, so basically y'all remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Remember how the young man had an idea to turn the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air into something serious? But he put some money into that, though. He put a lot of money into that little trailer, and it paid off for him because he ended up selling it to Peacock. Will Smith took interest in it, signed on, and before you know it, it was sold. So that's what we're trying to do. That's the hope. So the proof of concept is what Dr. Bob put together in the city of New Orleans. You'll get a chance to see a Boogie B. Is it a good time to play it right now, Dr. Bob?
Yes, perfect time.
Okay, would you like to set up anything, say anything before we play it?
Basically, I think you said it all. This is our proof of concept video. What I did is I gathered some local actors here from New Orleans, and they came on. This was a group effort. This was a passion project. And so the point of a proof of concept is just to give the audience an idea of what the movie is about. And again, you'll see Boogie B. He played the character of Jonah in the proof. Enjoy.
Enjoy, everyone. Take a look.
Oh, Sister Penny's my favorite. She mean though. I like Bumbleline. She's nice. I wish she was real.
Hope you're enjoying our story so far.
I've been hearing voices, man. It's weird. It's like a fight between good and evil.
You okay? Come on, let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Oh, walk or something. I don't have to sit in the emergency room with you again, twin.
Did you go see your doctor today?
You know what? I didn't. I just want to be normal for a change.
I was praying with Angel, right?
Praying with Angel? Knew you hit,
Man, listen, bro. Listen. It's like a battle between good and evil. It's waiting to see whether we gonna do what everybody else is doing or do something different.
What's up, Zeke? Man, looking good. Just saying it ain't no fun if the homeless can't have none.
And where you at, God? Where you at, God?
I've been hearing voices.
They told me to talk to you. They told me to come to you for help. Cool, because I'm ahead.
Yeah. You know that's how we do it.
Vengeance is not the option. This is not your fight.
And that Winnie.
A Dr. Bob film, yes. And I saw Boogie B, you know, even with the little green jacket on, trying to look serious. I'm like, oh.
Right. that was
so
good.
funny. When we see our funny comedians like in a serious role or do something.
That's funny.
So with the, you know, your proof of concept. So in the phase that you're in right now, if you could just speak to the audience for people that are like, okay, so I could put something together and try to pitch it around, but then what do I do? So the next step after you did that was what does that look like as a filmmaker or as a screenwriter?
Sure, definitely. So what that looks like, and before we do that, is there a way that we can put our, if anybody wants to support the film, we can put that there while I'm explaining. Yes, so while you're working on that, I'll talk a little bit about what happens after the proof of concept video is completed. So after that, it's all about getting it out there. Right? How do we get people to see this? Of course, we post to socials, we send out email blasts, we try to get power players, right? And people who have some connections or some type of experience in the industry to get eyes on it. That's the main part, right? Because what's the sense in having something great if no one sees it? And so it's about getting eyes on it, exactly. And then the major part in all of this is funding. Funding is a huge part of this because for example, for the proof of concept video, that was self-funded, all out of my pocket, no help. Right. And so we did that there, but then it's almost an investment. You know, like, okay, you pay for this and now people will see it and now people will want to support it. And so that's really the next step is the funding. And that's where we are now because we would like to go into pre-production. And so we recently ran a Seed and Spark campaign where we raised money. And now we're looking to complete fundraising to start pre-production.
Yeah. And I know that you guys raised a pretty good chunk, but you're still in need. Like, what's the overall, if you could have it your way? Because I know you had your goal of what, 15,000 initially?
For pre-production, yes.
Yes, for pre-production. And people, if you're watching, some people do it like that. They do their money in segments, you know, this for pre-production, which is great because you need to know what pre-production looks like, what production looks like, and then post-production. But that post-production is switch up on you, honey. Okay. That post-production will kick your tail. If you guys are, listen, it kicked my tail. And we thank God we still have money left over from 7 Sharp. But that I was able to even get a different cut of the film after it. You know what I mean? But yes, post-production is something where sometimes you're going to have to, you know, you see filmmakers all the time where they run out of money. They start the project almost like you'd see a house in your neighborhood. They've been building on the house or the church for so long.
Yeah.
Like y'all ain't finished that
right.
New church pastor.
The building fund. The building fund.
The building fund. Y'all didn't finish that yet? Neighbor, you still working on your house? Well, sometimes you lose money because things happen. So with the post-production, sometimes it will kick your butt. It kicked my butt, but God is good. Okay. And we are praying that we get the right investors, the right executive producers on board to invest this project, to invest in a project, because we've had a few people donate. They believe in a film. So if you would say, you know, the magic number overall that you need, because somebody could be watching, they could have been blessed mightily and heavily for that tax income return. That's another story for me. I've never gotten a big tax return because I don't have kids, and I just think that's so unfair. So I got to figure out a way.
Right.
My sister got my LLC now, so I'm trying to figure out some things.
Okay. Well, share that with me. Once let's have another meeting on the side.
I will.
Yeah, let's talk.
We will do that. We'll do that. But for the people out there wondering, and they're like, okay, well, this sounds good. Or I'm from New Orleans, or dang, you know, hearing voices, Black men, that's the focus. I want to know more about that. I would love to help, you know, you get your dream completed and this done. So if there was a number for people, like, what's the overall number? And how much are you looking for people to provide?
Sure. Great question. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, because we got to give it to them plain, honey.
Come on.
Write the vision down, make it plain.
You took the words out of my mouth. Let's make it plain. Okay.
Yes.
And so the overall budget stands right now for a first-time independent filmmaker at $205,000. Okay. 205,000, which is a pretty good number. Let me tell you something. Pastor Warren Campbell, my pastor out in Los Angeles, California, he says something all the time that really sticks with me when I'm thinking of investing. He says, everything that is evil is funded. And when you think about that, that's really powerful. And there's some truth to it, right? We look at all of the things, you know, the films and just music and just different things that are not really faith-based in a sense, right? Yeah. They don't have to look for funding. You know what I'm saying? People are just calling and pouring out funding to them. And so, but when you try to do something that has a moral agenda, you know, has a positive goal, it can sometimes be difficult. So with that in mind, going back to your question, 205,000 ideally. And really, guys, that's not a lot to create.
Not for Hollywood, no.
Not at all. That's for independent, what we call guerrilla style films. And so with that, with pre-production, again, as LaCora mentioned, doing it in steps, we are looking to get to 15,000 just to start. Now, how can you help? Of course, any amount would be amazing. You see the ways to give are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Any amount you would like to donate to support Black media is certainly appreciated. We are also looking for those of you who want to be a part of it on a larger scale, right?
Yeah.
We have LaCora is serving as one of our producers, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. She has been the main producer of our feature film Torrent Direction. We're also seeking those who would like to be involved as executive producers, associate producers, right? There are various packages. Again, this will allow you to be involved on a greater level with a greater investment. So if you are a pastor of a church, if you are a bishop, if you are a deacon, if you have any part of leadership in a church and you want to talk with your parishioners and your board about serving as executive producer on this project, I think it would be something really great and awesome for your ministry. Also businesses, right? Local businesses out in LA. You don't have to be local. You don't have to be in New Orleans for this. You can be anywhere. You can be out of the country and still be involved in a film that's bringing such a great message. Also community organizations, right? Yeah. You know, you want to get behind this, make sure you reach out.
And I think that that's really good to note, because a lot of people think that they probably heard like pastor, church. Yeah, think about TD Jakes. I remember one of my first gigs, I was flown out to Canada. Heaven is for Real. Y'all remember that movie?
I do.
TD Jakes produced that. He signed, I think, a 10-picture deal with Sony. So his job as a pastor was to try to get the word of God out, not just from the pulpit, but something different. You know, Devon Franklin has done the same. Kirk Franklin, Dietrich Haddon. So there are quite a few that have, I think, and you know, but TD Jakes has probably, they have some other pastors on Pure Flix that are doing some good things as well. But TD Jakes, I like him. I met him several times personally. They flew me out and it was wonderful. It was a little scary sleeping next to the room of the people that claimed they had saw Jesus. I can't lie. Listen, I'm in Canada by myself. There were other reporters there, but you know, they put you in a room, they pay for everything. And then, you know, you settle in. The next day you have the press junkets where you talk to the producers, you talk to the stars, the people who came up with the story, all of this stuff. So Heaven is for Real was from a book. Who came from a family who had a little boy who claimed he passed away and saw Jesus. And Jesus in the movie didn't have hair of wool or skin of brass. Instead, he was very pale and he had green eyes.
Right.
And so I asked Pastor or Bishop TD Jakes, you know, like, hey, you have your parishioners, you have people that look up to you. How, as a producer, does this reflect what the word of God says? Don't you think it may create a superiority or inferiority complex? And he was so great at answering the response. He says, I'm the producer. He said, my job is to tell their story. And that's my job. LaCora, you could be anywhere. You could be a pastor. You could be a business. If I believe in the vision, which is letting people know that heaven is for real, my job is to get that story out. So if you're wondering, like, a pastor, executive producer film, yes, a full church.
Yes.
A full church. We've had a few meetings actually with some pastors, and it went well. It was good meetings. And some of them aren't really accustomed to the world of entertainment. Some of them are interested in it though. So if you guys know anyone and you say this would be a great match, this would be a really good fit, you know, because my executive producer, he was actually a pastor. He traveled with me. He went to Cannes, France with me, Jacksonville, Florida. He even found a film festival in Beverly Hills. Wow. You know, screening. So he was very involved. And then my other executive producer, my friend's father, Mr. Robert O'Brien. I love Mr. O'Brien. He's down in Miami, but he came along to the Jacksonville Film Festival, as well as my uncle and my daddy. They were executive producers. They were the one, you know, they came out here to California. My daddy did. And they also were there in Jacksonville. So as an executive producer, if you find that this is something you are interested in, it all is about how you want to support. Yes, we're going to need that money. Okay. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
To pull out that purse. Okay.
Exactly.
Your wallet. Okay. But it also entails, if you would like, you know, to come along and be part of the journey. Because a lot of people that believe in it, they actually want to be there, and we invite that. So we encourage you, if you know anyone, if you have some people out there, because my thing is we need like 10 people to just say, okay, I want to give $1,000.
Yes.
That's just me. I'm going to be when I did my 7 short film, I was very specific and it worked out. I told people I had $1,000 goal each week, and we met it. We met our goal each and every week. Sometimes we have more. We met it by Tuesday. So, I would say, and if this is okay with you, Dr. Bob, I don't know. But as a producer, I would say we need at least 10 people to give, I don't know. You tell me if this is too much or.
I like what you're saying. You said $1,000. I mean, hey, when you think about it, we sow into all types of things, right? Things we don't even realize we're sowing into. And when I say sowing, that's kind of a term that church people use, but it's also in the Bible, but we sow. If you think about where you spend your money, right? Just think, ladies, let's just start with us. We get our hair did, right?
I like to spend it on hair.
Yeah, see, you like this. We get lashes, we have makeup, of course, we have shoes, and let's not talk about the bags. Okay.
Oh,
there are so
I'm into cheap bags. I don't care about bags.
I'm not into me either.
Yeah.
But there are viewers who are into these really expensive bags that cost well over $1,000, right? And so, even our guys, you love the shoes and the tennis shoes and the J's. You know what I mean? Or sometimes you're giving your money to a lady. And so you're showing. Because I don't see him either, but he's not over here. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
But look, I didn't say that was my experience.
Right. But what you had heard was there are some.
Yes. This is what y'all do sometimes. And so with that, you are sowing into something, so if you are intentional about what you're sowing into and you say, hey, you know what? I want to sow into something good. Something that's going to make a difference, something that's going to be here forever. When you put something on film, it's here forever. You know what I mean? Something that will be on a streaming network, on the television, that you can go back later and show your kids. I played a part in that. I did something. I donated. I went on to set. I helped with craft services, whatever it is that you did. You'll have that. So, think about that today. What are you giving to? What are you investing it in? Is it something that will make a difference in someone's life?
Yes. And as a recap, if you're like, okay, that sounds good. I like the New Orleans. I like Dr. Bob. The film, if you missed the trailer, in short, Dr. Bob was describing it when she was discussing the film with me. She was like, it's like Boys in the Hood. And I'm like, I'm listening now, because we know I love some Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Y'all remember poor little Ricky? Jesus, why they do him like that? I think that's when I fell in love with old Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, me too.
But he's happily married, met his wife at a club, and they're still together all these years. I met him. He's such a nice fella. He didn't try to give me the eye, nothing like that. I mean, like, why would he? I'm just saying, well, why wouldn't he?
Because you're a beautiful lady.
But he was just a good, nice person.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dr. Bob, she was telling me about the film, and she was like, okay, picture it. Boys in the Hood. I was like, Meets. I said, The Wood. I said, oh, so like a coming of age. She said, exactly. And if you saw the trailer, we saw the young kids, and then we saw them older. So yes, we have themes of, gun violence from like Boys in the Hoods. We have themes of coming of age from, The Wood. But we also, she described it initially as a dramedy when we first started this interview. So that's like drama meets comedy. So like, remember The Wood, they had some comedy. There was some love story sprinkled in, but it was really about the men.
Yes.
That's what this film is about. It's like, yes, we're going to see some love, right? Yes, we're going to see these Black men coming of age, this growing, this pattern, but it's really about men. And I'm very interested to know, Dr. Bob, why men? Why are you so focused on the well-being of our Black men?
Yes, yes. Oh, that's an amazing question. And, it brings me back to when I did a radio interview where I was being interviewed by 2 Black men. And I knew this question would come up, and one of the interviewers asked me, in short, he says, why do you think you can, write a story about men? And that question was also brought up when I wrote the play back in 2011, right? And there was a theater reviewer who was a Black man. And, with that, after he saw the play, he was like, oh my gosh, how did you do that as a woman? And here's the thing, I was never offended by the question.
Right.
Because when they saw the work, the question was answered. And so what I will say here today is I love Black men. And it looks like LaCora left us. I don't know what happened, but I'm just going to answer this question. And then hopefully I can see her again on the screen. But I
was trying to give you a close-up, child. You see how folks do? You put a little close-up on she's about LaCora has
I lost it. I was shocked. I'm ready for my
wanted them to zoom in on what you're saying.
Let's go. Let's do it again.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. I love Black men. Let's put that out there first. And, in my experience growing up, I was always around a big family of uncles, my brother. But I think, wanting to write about Black men came from my experience in my first adult romantic relationship. And growing up in the 7th Ward, both of my parents were raised in the St. Bernard housing project. And there were just things that I saw, that I observed as a young woman that really bothered me, if I'm being honest, with Black men. And so, I just took the pen to paper and I started writing about those things. And so a lot of my work is influenced by my early years hanging out in the St. Bernard Housing Project, at my grandmother's house. A lot of my writing is influenced by that. And, as I grew in maturity, I noticed that there is a battle with our men. It's like the angel is on this shoulder and the demon is on the other. And they're constantly being pulled. They want to do right, but then something pulls them back. And so they have to have that support system. And even those who had not so great lives in the past, it's a journey. It's a journey to get to the right side of the law. And not to mention here in New Orleans right now, we have been named the murder capital, which is just not something to be proud of, and most of our perpetrators are kids between the ages of like 11 and 17 years old, and the victims are Black men. And so with that, all of these things influence my writing, LaCora, and just my desire to help them explain what's going on and then find practical solutions.
I know that's right. Ain't no Black man bashing over here, honey. Not at Torn Direction Film.
Not in Torn Direction Film, not ever,
Right. Well, I will bash a Black man if it's warranted.
If it's warranted. Yeah, and I will, but just not publicly. But right. I hear you because
I may do it publicly. It just kind of contingent on the situation. I don't know. Listen, I've lived, and I realize that sometimes people just need the truth, so I think that it's commendable what you're doing, and I know that a lot of people challenge people of the opposite sex, saying that, but you're a man, how can you speak for women? How can you know what women want? You're a woman, how can you know what men want? You need to speak to men. You don't have kids. How can you tell me how to parent my kids? Because you're doing a sad job, okay? I think people without kids could talk to you. I do.
I get that all the time, especially, as a counselor, right? Mm-hmm. How can you talk to parents and you don't have kids? How can you do marriage counseling if you're not married? How can
anymore? Because you weren't
anymore?
married. Yeah.
Yes. So the list goes on and on. But I think what we have to realize is we also learn from our experiences. So when you mix experience and education, that's something powerful.
Right. I agree. It's almost like Job in the Bible. His friends was like, well, certainly you did something. Just go on and tell the truth and shame the devil, Job. You didn't do something around here. And it wasn't for little Elihu, the young one from the mouth of babes. He was like, no, hold on, slow down. Could it possibly be this man ain't lived a long life? Sometimes people have wisdom enough to speak for men. So as a writer, it seems as if, or to speak for women, or to speak for parents, or to speak for singleness, to marriages, whatever it may be. I never discount people who don't have, because I also don't think that you have all the answers because you have. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think what God has given you is powerful, especially since it has been validated by other men. Not that you need that validation, but you had to prove them wrong. And, this is not Dr. Bob's first rodeo. Like she mentioned, she wrote this screenplay as a theater production. That's My First Love Theater. Back in 2011. She was just featured on the local news there in New Orleans, WWL, Channel 4, yes?
Yes, correct.
Yes, and they showed a highlight and clips from 2011. I myself have been held hostage watching that show at my place. Oh gosh! No, that was a good show. I love theater. So, and here she is, making it into a film. I am also proud of you, and I am very honored to be a producer on this show. I've just produced a short film 2 weeks ago. And that went extremely well. And I'm working for a production company, getting them off the ground. And I am just excited to put my hands on Torn Direction. I'm excited to get to New Orleans and get working on this. But I'm even more excited for the person that decides to sign on as executive producer. As I stated, my experience with Seven Sharp, my recent film, we went to Cannes, honey, and my EP was there, and it was an experience. We drove to Monaco. We were on the waters of South France.
Yes, honey.
Near the Riviera. But I've always wanted to go to the motherland first, but it wasn't nothing to sneeze at. France was only Paris was only a 30-minute flight, or it's almost like Vegas to LA. 30-minute flight away. 40-minute flight. So it was a great experience. And I'm looking to do that with Torn Direction. So if you decide that you want to join the team, make sure you send me an email, or send Dr. Bob. If you know Dr. Bob, if you're her people or my people, and you're watching the replay, thank you for watching as this long that you have. And we do invite you if you feel like, okay, you can't be an executive producer, but you do want to sow a seed. Absolutely, we'll take your money. Okay. We're looking for people to give at least $1,000, and this is something we're looking for roles of associate producer, executive producer, but we're also looking for investors and donors that could give and make this happen. Okay. Yes. Now, Dr. Bob, before we go, is there anything else you want to share? Anything that we missed?
First of all, yes, I'm so excited to have you. So thank you again for joining our team. And this is going to be great. I promise you it is. Yes, it will. And also, I wanted to mention that we are fiscally sponsored. Receive, a tax deduction. And so
Could you repeat that? Could you start that sentence that we are?
We are fiscally sponsored. And so basically what that means is our organization, Gifted Uniqueness, is not a 501c3, but we do have a sponsorship. And so we are able to take donations where you can, your donations will be tax deductible. Okay. And so you can email me for more information on that.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Bob. And I'm just going to remind the beautiful people, we are doing this in honor of this young man. Y'all see him in the back right there. Boom, boom, pow. He's wonderful. Boogie B is his name. And we're just appreciative for the time that he was with us. Because again, I didn't know him, but I just followed him on social media. He did, and if you want to know more about him and find because his work is still there as a creative, he did stories like the New Orleans Hood stories.
Yeah.
Or what did they do?
That's it. New Orleans Hood History. Yeah.
New Orleans Hood History. And he also
and Let Me Stress You Out. So both of those are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So it's very easy to find. You can just search comedian Boogie B. Yeah.
Right there. And that's what I was going to say, because I remember Let Me Stress You Out, but I didn't find out until the Hood History from Boogie B until later. But he's so funny, so loud, so New Orleans. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, we're loud.
Y'all are some loud people, but I love loud people. I'm from the South. Okay?
You're loud too, right?
My mama is so loud. We be like, Mama, this is how I talk.
Right.
That's always her response. Hey, Mama, I know you watching. But my mom is loud, okay?
Yeah.
So everyone, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited because, I haven't done this in a while, a virtual interview. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel and check out, I have some interviews coming up from the pre-Oscar party where I interviewed a few people, and I think that's going to be nice. But most importantly, before you do that, make sure you take note of what's scrolling below. Y'all see that? It's scrolling. That's the Cash App for Dr. Bob. All right. As well as the Zelle for the production company so that we could go ahead and get the pre-production going. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for those who have shared. I appreciate my beautiful people always giving love. And for the people on the replay, what it do? Thank you so much for coming in. Okay. And Dr. Bob, to my guest, my screenwriter, my friend, I want to thank you so much for being my first virtual interview for 2023. Yay! All right, everyone. Again, I'm LaCora Stephens. This is my guest, Dr. Tameka Bob, and we are signing off. And the question is, as you experience the guest show, are you living in your yes? If not, why not? What are you going to do about it? Change it. It's time to live, honey. Time to live. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign out with some music. Follow Dr. Bob at her Instagram. Make sure you take down that Cash App $ Dr. T Bob. The Zelle is giftedfilm@gmail.com. If you have more questions about becoming a producer, an executive producer, make sure you contact Dr. Bob on her Instagram, DM her, or you could contact me. All right. I think we need some music to get on out of here. What do you think, Dr. Bob?
Let's do it. I love the music.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go on and bring in some music real quick. Okay. All right. Let me find it. Okay.
When I count all my blessings, I can't even be said anymore. Can't even be said anymore. When I count all my blessings, my heart still hurts for the world that I know. The world that I know. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sense and direction, praying for love and protection. Sinking down under the water, slipping down under, drifting out into the water, missing down under. Tell me what is it you care for? Is there even a care at all? Praying for sense and direction, praying for love and protection. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy. have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. If I call, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy. If I call, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, remember. Have mercy, have mercy. If I call on the mercy, have mercy, have mercy, remember. Have mercy, have mercy. If I call, have mercy, have mercy. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, remember. No. We tried. We tried. We tried. We tried. Said we tried. And we tried. And we tried. And we tried.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.